We'll start from the very part where we concluded last day. And what we have found that Prospero was about to tell the detail, the past, the history to his beloved daughter. Many times before, he wanted to tell his daughter the detail of their luck as well as history. But after starting that very story, he used to get stopped all of his sudden. Miranda, you have often begun to tell me what I am, but stopped. So many a times, Prospero began to tell her what she was. Here, what I am stands for their past. But he used to get stopped all of a sudden and left me to a bootless inquisition. Bootless when we can write puzzled or you can write fruitless or futile. Futile or fruitless. Inquisition means you can write question or situation. You can write questions also. So he used to get stopped all of a sudden, and Miranda used to have so many questions in her mind, concluding stay. Stay means stop. Not yet. Who used to conclude? Prospero. Prospero used to conclude by saying, no, not yet. The hour has come now. Here, how means the time. Time has come. The very minute bids you open thine ear. The very minute means this time. This time bids you means order. You open thine ear. Open thine ear means be careful and listen. Obey and be attentive. Obey means obey what is going to be conveyed by Prospero and be attentive. Can'ts mean can't. Thou means you. Remember a time before we came unto this cell. The past, that means the past. Before they came unto this cell, they reached. This cell means the deserted island. Or you can write shack also. I do not think you can, for then you was not out 3 years old. So Prospero feel it is impossible for Miranda to remember since she was only 3 years old that time. So we have to understand at the age of 3, Miranda had to come to this island due to the treachery and cheating of her uncle who rejected Prospero of his kingdom. So it is very hard for her to remember that gloomy past. Miranda, certainly, sir, I can. It means she can remember. Though she is saying that she can remember the past, but actually not. It is impossible for her to remember that very gloomy past. By what? By any other house or person. By what means how? Do you remember? By any other house, that means a house rather than this island, or any other person. Can he remember any other house? Can she remember any other house or any other person? Of anything, the image tell me that, or anything that the image tell me that hath means has kept with you your remembrance. So here image means a specific incident from history, a specific incident from history that can tell Prospero, that can make Prospero understand that Miranda is really remembering her past. This is true and authenticated. So, one incident is being asked by Prospero to be raised by Miranda. Miranda, it is far off. That means the means the memory. Far off means is hazy and rather like a dream than an assurance. So the memory is just like a dream. We cannot recollect the dream properly and thoroughly. Then assurance means then a reality. So she cannot remember the past full fledgedly. That my remembrance warns that her memory describes. What her memory describes is a dream, then an assurance. So, whatever she is going to say, that cannot be 100% true or correct. Had I not 4 or 5 women once that tended me, tended means took care of me. So, she was looked after by 3 or 4 women or 4 or 5 women that she can remember. You have Miranda, you had. That means yes, she was taken care. Yes, she was looked after in that way, even by more caretakers or ladies. But how is it that this lives in thy mind? That means how is it, that means how is it possible that the memory is still alive in her mind? It is very peculiar that the memory is still alive in her mind. What seest thou else in the dark backward? Dark backward means forgettable past and the abysm of time. That means darkness of history. How can you remember that dark history? Can remember that forgettable past? If you remembers aught before you came here, aught means almost nothing or anything. Before, year means before you came here. Comes means came. Here means in the island. How you came here, you mean. Then you could remember how did you arrive here. So here you can notice the memory is very weak in Miranda. She needs her father's assistance to recapitulate the entire past. And to recapitulate the past, while recapitulating the past, she could only remember she was taken care by 4 or 5 women, only that much, not more than that. And further, what can she remember? She remembered little thing before she came here. So she was immediately asked by her father if she could remember anything else than these things. But one thing for sure, she could remember the past as a dream, not as a reality. You cannot expect a person can remember the activities when he or she was only 3 or 4. So the memory is not at all vivid, instead hazy and faint. So we have completed these 2 or 3 speeches. Till now we are not introduced to the character like Caliban or Ariel. So that will add more twist to this very drama, because that is the primary feature of a comedy is merriment of character, that means plenty of character. Here we have 2 only till now. They will soon appear in this particular drama, and this is only about the recapitulation or remembrance of the past. That is very much needed for Miranda to know, unless she would not know her royal identity and she would think throughout her life that her father was a poor magician and nothing else.